All right, this is investigative news journalist Jason DeFore here speaking today. So now that a few days have gone by, like as in 2 days since Friday anyways, I've been analyzing, researching everything that happened with Trump, Syria, the airfield. Was he played by the elite? Did he play them back? What is actually happening here? Are we doing regime change? Are we not? Because he didn't really say that there had to be regime change now all of a sudden. But he went after the airfield. And the airfield he went after was like a grass piece of garbage. They moved all their airplanes and jets in advance pretty much anyways. Very little damage was done. It's like almost like, that's, you just spent like $1 million a piece. $59 million just went out the window. As if that really matters. That's chump change these days. But I'm trying to look at all this, and I find this Twitter feed from a guy from February 1st. On April 7th, World War III is going to start. They're going to, the Trump White House, whatever. I'll tell you. I got it here. I'll tell you in a second. Here's a screenshot. How about that? Here it is. April 7th, 2017. Now, first of all, look at this date, February 1st. See that? February 1st. April 7th, 2017 is the day they are planning to start World War III, but we can stop them by calling it out. # lock them up. Please, friends, this is urgent. Now, it was the 6th in America, but it was the 7th in Syrian time. Okay? Just in all fairness. So, I went on here. They're talking about Bannon. Rachel is, it's the same person. This Inside Trump's Life, which is at Rogue Leaks. Rachel, whoever this Rachel girl is actually being paid by Bannon. She's been stalking us for months. So this person, whoever this guy is here, is totally against Bannon. And yet he was saying World War III is about to start. We need to stop. But what I'm finding, and what I have found, I should say, Bannon, the guy who was essentially from Breitbart, who was with Trump during the campaign, he made him his #1 advisor. There's been fighting. You can read mainstream media about this too, by the way. I've already read it today. There's been infighting between Kushner, which is his son-in-law, Trump's son-in-law, who's married to Ivanka. He happens to be Jewish, by the way, backed by the Jewish cabal, if you will. And Mr. Bannon is not. He was from Breitbart, whatever. And even mainstream articles, I've got it right here. Here, I'll read this to you from The Independent, big website, mainstream site from the UK. Mr. Bannon was given a senior role on the council despite having limited experience of foreign policy. Tensions between Mr. Trump and his chief strategist are reported to have ratcheted up amid reports Mr. Bannon threatened to quit over his removal from the NSC. That he demoted him. Trump demoted this guy. Rumors about his role in the Trump team followed a U.S. missile strike on a Syrian airfield. While there is no suggestion of a link between Mr. Bannon's apparently precarious position in the administration and Friday morning's airstrike, his brand of economic nationalism does not sit comfortably with intervention in foreign wars. And I've heard that also Mr. Priebus, Republican National Committee, he's on the hot seat too. So Bannon, again, Daily Caller, White House Chief Strategist Steve Bannon was on the losing side of an internal administration argument over whether or not to conduct a punitive strike against Bashar al-Assad in response to Tuesday's chemical weapons attack in Syria. Bannon, who argued attacking the Syrian regime wasn't in keeping with an America First foreign policy, was reportedly bested in the debate by Jared Kushner, President Donald Trump's son-in-law and senior advisor. And I was looking at some comments that people were telling me. Anyways, but he said, someone said, where is he at? Donald Trump shills for Israel. Meet Trump's new boss, Benjamin Netanyahu. Trump is a Zionist Jew puppet. Hillary would have done the same thing, whatever. Yeah. But where was that at? That's not the actual one I want to read. Ivanka married And of course, this is in my, I go to YouTube on my account, likely spam. Your comment won't show up. And I have a lot of comments on my channel, naturally, just obviously from the amount of subscribers I have, there's always a lot of comments. But there's always a dozen or more per video, likely spam. And I do this every day. So every now and then I'll go in there and kind of try to clean it up. Like, okay, well, that's not spam. That's not spam. That's not spam. And certainly this comment is not spam that I'm about to read you. Ivanka married Jared Kushner, a Jew, and she converted to Judaism and is the custom, if not law. Now her children are being raised as and considered Jewish. The greater Zionist agenda on behalf of Israel is to take out Syria and then concentrate on Iran, etc. Note the date, the first fake chemical weapon supposedly unleashed by Assad. Once again, America is Israel's bitch, as he says. Israel has been gifted by the American taxpayer to the tune of $3 to $4 billion every year for over 60 years. As well, American soldiers die in wars for Israel. Now, he linked a video to Brother Nathaniel, which I'm going to open up. Obama's Jewish war on Syria. This was posted 12/2/2013. But I'm not going to get all over the place on this one. I'm just, I've done some research since Friday, and as of right now, it's Saturday night, almost 9 p.m. Eastern. So I don't know why this guy that I showed you from the tweet is all upset about Bannon. It appears that Bannon does not want these wars, and it's the Jewish son-in-law, Kushner, who does want the wars, and apparently won that bet. However, since he won the bet and Trump decided, go ahead, we're going to use 59 Tomahawk missiles, my next question is, why did he purposely choose nonsensical targets? A grass field military base that's hardly used. And where they did strike, there's nothing really damaging about it. Very little. He could have had way better targets. I mean, incredible targets. So why did he do that? Why did he say basically, Steve Bannon, I'm demoting you. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to listen to my son-in-law. We're going to do this. But while I'm doing it, I'm going to do the worst precision strike known to mankind on purpose. It has to be on purpose, clearly. Those things are absolute precision munitions. Remember the bunker busters and stuff. That was, back in 1990, 91. You know what kind of stuff we have these days. You could pinpoint someone sitting down's foot with a missile. Be a little overkill, wouldn't it? But nonetheless, you could hit someone right in the foot if they're just sitting there. I might even argue, even if they're moving, you probably do just as good a job at hitting their body with the technology we have. So why did he do that to Bannon, which shows the globalists, yes, we're winning around Trump. All of our advisors around Trump, we're finally winning. And he listened to Kushner, who his daughter or whatever's, married to. And naturally, that's a son-in-law. Yeah, but, is he qualified? Is this guy qualified to be giving you advice? And then at the same argument, you could say, well, what about Bannon? He's not some big-time government, political guy from back, has got experience. He was mainly from Breitbart. But he has the good mindset. So I'm confused as I'm watching all these tweets from this guy in his responses and other people. Why is he singling out Bannon? Bannon, to me, seems like the good guy here. That's what I've found out. So the same guy has a Facebook post that he updated 19 hours ago. And it's worth reading. But again, I can't figure out why he's against Bannon. I don't understand. This doesn't make sense to me. But he says on January 28th, now again, this was posted 19 hours ago from his Facebook page. On January 28th to 30th, 2017, so 2 months ago, Steve Bannon, Paul Ryan, Rex Tillerson, and Valerie Gerasimov spoke together several times and discussed starting World War III on April 7th, 2017, he says. Now, in this guy's tweet, someone had asked him, how did you pick that date? Like, what kind of intel? He said, well, it has more to do with the cult timeframes. And I thought to myself, I was reading a little bit about that the other day. April 6th or 7th, World War I, U.S. enters World War I. Interesting date. I just quickly Googled occult. April 6th, Good Friday, Death of Christ. Date varies annually, it says. But normally it's a blood ritual, human sacrifice, they say. Good Friday is the beginning of satanic high days that are celebrated throughout the weekend to the end of the day on Easter Sunday. Pray with us for the rescue of all people being held for human sacrifice at this time. April 7th, Easter Eve Day, date varies annually. Blood ritual, human sacrifice. Now I thought, and I'm going to have to look at this, Ruby Ridge. WikiLeaks, remember that event? That was August. Was it August? And ended when, though? Was it April? April 18th? Nope. Maybe it was Waco. I'm just curious. I thought there was another April 6th thing in here. Was it April? April 19th. State law enforcement between February 28th and April 19th. So it's close, but not quite. Then there's April 12th. Tried for attempted murder in April 12th. Anyways, maybe I'm looking at the right stuff. Just because I'm looking, let me just do this too. Oklahoma City bombing. What day was it? April by chance? That's not what I want. Wikipedia. Was it April? April 29th. Let's see. Building to recover debris. 100 to 350 short tons of rubble were removed from the site each day from April 29th to 24th to 29th. But what was the actual date? April, May. Trying to see it here. 9 a.m. What day, though? The first calls came in April. That's when they were arrested. April 19th. Come on. My subscribers are waiting. Let's go. Yeah, April 17th to 18th, they removed their supply. So it was right around the time. It's not April 6th or 7th, but that is certainly interesting, is it not? And since that's the case, back to the occult calendar. April 30th, Walpurgisnacht, blood ritual, animal and or human sacrifice. Anyways, that's all I can see on this occult thing. So that was the primary reason this guy was saying in replying to people on Twitter, it's an occult date, whatever, World War I. He didn't say World War I, but I've already looked this up. World War I started, I think, on the same time frame, April 6th or 7th or whatever. So, again, this guy is against Bannon. I cannot figure out why. When everything that I'm seeing right now, no, Bannon's the guy who didn't want to attack. Bannon's the guy who tried to stop it. So I don't understand. But he said, again, these three, Steve Bannon, Paul Ryan, Rex Tillerson, they spoke several times, discussed starting World War III on April 7th, 2017, back on late January 2017. Now our posts went viral when April 7th came, Syrian time, not U.S. time zones, and the hashtag Hear Your Strike happened. Hashtag World War III began to trend, and our posts went viral. However, throughout the day, we have been receiving a lot of questions, so we've decided to write a tell-all note about what we know, how we know it, and hopefully answer your questions. To start off, and by the way, I've replied twice in his feed, Twitter. Help me out here. I thought Bannon was the good guy from everything I'm reading, even on mainstream right now. He was the good guy, not what you're saying. I haven't got a response yet, but I just did that recently. So to start off, the Syrian attack was planned by Steve Bannon, he says, Paul Ryan, and Rex Tillerson, and Valery Gerasimov over those 3 days at the end of January. Typical narcissists brag about their upcoming accomplishments to their victims, and as many of you know, we both have been victims of harassment and gang stalking by Steve Bannon. So I'm wondering, whoever this guy is he the opposition who knew in advance, because the club and the Democratic left, as in Hillary and them, knew this was going to happen, but said, let's flip it and make it look like this other guy did it. Let's get rid of Bannon, There's no reason to get rid of Bannon, and Trump demoted him anyways. This does not make sense. Bannon's the guy that was saying, don't do it. America First policy. It's not what we're about. We shouldn't be over there. Let's not do it. And he did it anyways. Yet this guy here is telling you right now, no, this is Bannon's fault. He's doing this. So we may have some controlled opposition here that I'm reading you, but I want to see what he has to say. Typical narcissists brag about their upcoming accomplishments to their victims, and as many of you know, we both have been victims of harassment and gang stalking by Steve Bannon. He likes to brag about what he considers to be his accomplishments in an attempt to cause fear in his victims. Only we never have cowered in fear because of him, and we've decided to leak what we know. Normally, Bannon's people stalk our accounts and us incessantly and cause confusion in hashtag the resistance. And again, his thing is the resistance of this guy, not my president movement, okay? One of those guys. By either paying people off or threatening people and their families into silence or in some regards into lying about what is truly going on. The people Bannon works for have so much money they just throw it away in an attempt to pay everybody off. But he has gotten sloppy. We found out he would be let go from his job this week, and he was. We found out that Priebus would be leaking or quitting, and rumor has it he is. And most importantly, we called the beginning of World War III today. So how does this guy know so much? And he's blaming the wrong people. Bannon, that's wrong. Neither of us are directly involved in the current administration. Robert is from one of the richest families in the world, so he grew up around Trump and was abused by him and his group. And Hipzibah is a pastor who works as a spiritual advisor to several well-known Democratic leaders. So there's the Democratic connection. But we both know what's going on, and we plan to expose whatever we can whenever we get information. They become sloppy this week, and that's worked to our advantage. The hashtag Syrian attack, it was not Assad who planned it, but the four we mentioned. They want war in the hashtag Middle East for money and oil as usual. They want to set up Putin as the fall guy and tip his hand for war. You see, Valerie has gone rogue, and not in the resistance sense of the word. As many of you know, Robert and I have stated from the get-go that Vladimir was not behind hashtag ElectionGate, and he was lured into a trap by Jacob Rothschild in summer of 2016 during the primaries. He did do some black hat hacking back then and work with hashtag Julian Assange. Julian worked side by side with Jacob and lured Vladimir in. So they paid a lot of money to have the election polls rigged for Trump, but Hillary Clinton won on both counts, yada, yada. I mean, they were all promised things. For most, it was a position on his cabinet or staff. For some, it was shout-outs and support. For instance, DJT supports, Donald J. Trump, supports Alex Jones deeply. But again, Alex Jones, if you followed Alex Jones, I don't care what you think about him today. Oh, he's designed this. I followed him for so many years, I can't even count how many. I've downloaded and purchased DVDs years ago from that Alex used to do. He is absolutely uncovering the global elite, their agenda. I've seen him dragged out by cops at protests he's been to, and not faking. I'm talking from 1990-something, old ones, before anyone really knew who he was. So I'm not one of the people that bash Alex Jones. Whether he wants to cover certain things or not, Alex Jones is not that kind of guy. Like some kind of Paige Shield or something. There's no way. But whatever this guy, I don't know. This could just simply be this, resistance, whatever, not my president. This could simply be somebody who just doesn't have a clue. Got lucky with the date based off of occult numerology. And is saying it's these main people in the Trump cabinet, which are actually the freaking good guys. Bannon is, in my eyes, from what I've read today, researched today, mainstream, alternative, everything. Bannon was not for the war, did not want to do it. Him and Kushner were infighting. Matter of fact, what was the other one? A little news site, whenever I search for the name, Trump's Syria strike is latest sign of Steve Bannon's waning influence. Because he used to have influence not to do it, now he is. Trump bombs Syria, demotes Steve Bannon, and gets a Supreme Court nominee confirmed. So that's another thing we haven't really heard about because of this incident. But again, I have to go back to, regardless of everything that I've just kind of showed you with this guy and his post a month ago, how did he know it, this and that, whatever. The biggest question is, which is two, he demoted this guy. Why did he demote him? Number two, he did not listen to him. Don't go in there. Don't do the strike. It's not good. It's not what we should do. He did it anyways. Sided with his son Kushner. Kushner, the Jewish dude, is arguing with this guy. Now, Syria made a threat back in 2013. I believe that's because we were talking about it then, chemical weapon, and there was some leaked information from maybe in the same Independence website or the other mainstream one in the UK. It's now been removed, by the way. The article is now missing in action. I found out today. But it posted an article that the U.S. would blame a chemical weapons attack on the Syrian regime. Now, 2013, Obama was in power, etc., right? That article is now gone. Deleted. Have a nice day. Mainstream news site in the UK had that going. And only within the last 2 days had that article going missing. Bye-bye. So if Trump is doing this or just infighting, clearly Kushner, maybe he married his daughter on purpose. You need to take one for the team, marry his daughter, and you're going to be our right-hand man to the president, the son-in-law. Maybe that was his role. I have no idea. But if he's pushing for Israel, and what did Assad say? If you do this, or if you attack us, talking about us, if you mess with us and do this to us, we will instantly attack Israel, is what they said. That was their comment. So the other question is, knowing all this stuff, no small-time country, third world country, etc., in their right mind would do such an atrocious thing, knowing once again there's one country who keeps coming out and crushing us when we do these despicable things, which I'm here to tell you, they don't do those despicable things. You're just made to believe they do them, and they show you footage on CNN, staged or 40 years ago footage that they pretend is today. I remember they used a bunch of body bags a while back. Remember those? And the guy's like, hey, that's a copyright. That's my copy photo. And by the way, that's not Syria. That's from an Iraq picture I did in 2004. You don't have my permission to use that anyways. Oh, sorry. Mainstream site had to take it down. I talked about that whenever it happened. I don't remember what the hell the video is called now. It was so long ago. So again, everything is fake. Everything is fake. It's all about perception. Let's get these people all riled up. Babies, babies, babies. Poor babies. It's always babies. It's always babies. All you have to do is go to YouTube and search for Mannequin Challenge Syria. And take a look. I keep posting the same video in all my Twitter comments, and even my last two videos about Trump. The one about John Teeter, and then the one about Trump, like the last 2 days. First comment that I pinned myself, my own comment, I pinned it. In case anyone believes this hoax nonsense, here's a link to that mannequin challenge, they call it. It is absolutely staged. So Donald Trump did this on staged information. Luke Radowski, We Are Change, is very upset with Donald Trump right now. But I did comment in his video, hey, Luke, I understand that he fired these missiles but didn't hit anything, like almost on purpose. So I'm not sure if we should jump on the bandwagon yet of Trump. Not yet. That's what I said. We got to wait. Let's sit back and wait. That's what I keep saying. Sit back and wait a little bit. Do not jump to conclusions yet because he could have hit all kinds of interesting targets. Is that the only air base on Syrian soil? Absolutely not. And you chose the junky beat down one in the grass? It's a grass military base? Like grass runways and stuff or something? Come on. There has to be more to this. But I can't figure out why he would demote Bannon. Not listen to him. I'm going to listen to my son-in-law, listen to the globalist. McCain was cheering and doing backflips. Pelosi cheering and doing backflips. Everybody cheering and doing backflips on the left side for him to do this. And then when he does it, there's no regime change. He didn't hit any of these other bases and hit a base where like almost nothing was there. They'd already moved everything that was important out of the way. So what does this mean? What the hell is what is this? And honestly, none of us know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows right now. So we have to sit back and wait and see where this goes. It's that simple. But it does bother me that he demoted Bannon, and Bannon may end up being gone. And now the latest thing I read about Bannon and watch this, Bannon and Kushner. I'm just gonna Trump fires war. Posted April 7th, 2017. Trump fires warning shot in battle between Bannon and Kushner. As he grappled on Thursday with his first major decision involving military action, a fed up and frustrated President Trump turned to his top two aides and told them he had had enough of their incessant knife fights in the media. Work this out, Trump said, according to two people briefed on the exchange. The admonition was aimed at Stephen K. Bannon, or Stephen Bannon, the tempestuous chief strategist, and Reince Priebus, the mild-mannered chief of staff, over a series of dust-ups with Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law and senior advisor. But they may not be able to. The president is said to be aware that a meaningful reconciliation will take work to achieve between Mr. Bannon, who sees himself as the keeper of Mr. Trump's campaign promises, and the competing ideologies of Mr. Kushner and Mr. Cohn, again, Wall Street, a longtime Wall Street executive and a Democrat, again, Cohn, Goldman Sachs. And he is considering a shakeup of his senior staff, according to four people with direct knowledge of the process. So, what did the webbot say again about a major shuffling administration, cleaning out would happen right away in Trump's presidency? We've already seen a little bit of that earlier on when they cleaned out the State Department. Remember the 7th floor group, also known as the shadow government group, according to the FBI document? Cleaned them out. Cleaned a couple of other small spots out. And now is about to possibly clean out some of his swamp-infested cabinet. I don't like him demoting Bannon. That's not a good sign, okay? I'll be quite frank with you. But the fact that he hit these nonsensical targets is telling me, just hold on. Things are not what they may seem, but I am Realist News, and I will cover whatever the hell it is. I'm not going to wait to cover something when I already have enough information to make a video on, especially. My mind not be 100% made up, but at least I can share it with everybody, and you guys can communicate. You know, we chat back and forth, and like I've said, I've got some comment. Matter of fact, let me hit the check boxes to approve these comments that are sitting in my spam part of YouTube, possible spam. I don't know what triggers that sometimes because, there's junk in there. Talk about me doing anything on Bitcoin or anything related to that, and I get flooded with spam comment. Sign up to here, affiliate ID to earn a Bitcoin a day. Fake garbage junk websites are spamming my channel. Thank goodness, though, they're caught in here. But when I do see, look, here's someone, Andre. Trump is providing himself to be a schizophrenic. He has lost so many votes and appears to be the fool he is in public, just a white ape. Is that spam, though? Should that be flagged as spam? No, it's just someone's displeasure with Donald Trump. And just to show you that I'm not going to be a bias. I'm not going to post that comment. I'm not going to allow that comment to be seen. I'm going to check that box, approve the comment. But anyway, so that's all I want to say right now about this. We do need to sit back and wait and see where this goes. But he did that strike the way he did it, just to look like, okay, I got to do something. Maybe it was to appease the globalists, the neocons. Nothing happened. He did really no damage. We wasted $59 million. Again, chump change these days. So, let's see where this goes. And I hope it doesn't lead to World War III, because you know what I've said recently, numerous times. This also includes Martin Armstrong's war cycle chart and some other ones I've mentioned in my videos in recent times. 2017, 2018. War cycle in your face. Chances of these things happening by coincidence, 0 to none. We got a problem with our dollar. The party's over. World reserve currency is just about done. We need to go to war. Because the American economy is going to have some problems. If you haven't already noticed. And if you haven't, you may want to just randomly select videos of the last 3 months of mine. I'm sure I've discussed it with the hard data that comes in. Auto industry, real estate, retail apocalypse that's happening right now. I mean, the list goes on. I'm done. Take care.